Hey YouTubers, so today I am here with another tutorial where we are going to see how to use a 12-volt battery to power up any Wi-Fi router. So let's first create a scenario. Suppose you are using internet and suddenly power goes down, right? So we should have any device which should continuously power up this Wi-Fi router so you can use internet all the time. And actually this video is going to be divided into three parts. The first part will be powering up this Wi-Fi router using this 12-volt battery, and the next part will be for example, you want to use the same battery to charge your mobile phone if you have any load shedding issues, right? And the third part will be, since we are using this battery, so we have to charge this battery as well. So I am going to show you how to charge this battery using either a laptop charger, a 12-volt charger, or a computer power supply. The difference between a laptop charger and a 12-volt charger is only the voltage difference. Mostly we get 19.5 volts from a laptop charger, right? So let's get started. Okay, so let's first talk about this battery, right? If we go to the specification part of this battery, as you can see, it's a 12-volt 12 ampere battery, and it's a sealed lead acid battery. You can use any 12-volt battery for this project. Since I have this battery with me right now, so I'm going to use this 12-volt 12 ampere battery. So if you have a 12-volt battery like 12-volt 7 amps, 12-volt 5 amps, so you can also use those battery for this project as well. The next important thing that I want to discuss here is about this router. Since I don't have any other router with me right now, so unfortunately I have to use this PTCL router. And let's go to the specification part. You can see here it's written 12 volts and 0.8 amperes. Basically there are different variants of these routers. They either come with input of 9 volts or input of 12 volts. So if you have any of these routers, so you can use this project and design a power bank for your routers. Okay, so what we are going to do here is in the first part we are going to use this module. It's a DC to DC step down module. It has only 2 wires for input and 2 wires for the output. So it is a step down converter, and also it regulates the output voltage. So we are going to connect the 12-volt input at this side, and we are going to get the 12-volt constant output from this side. The reason I'm using this module is because it is going to give us constant current, so that this router device may not get damaged. And either if you have a 12-volt or a 9-volt router, so you can use this same module. And all you need to do if you have a 9-volt router, so just use this trimmer or this variable resistor to step down the voltage, right? There are a lot of different variants of these modules. The only difference is the difference is either you give how much voltage you can give at the input side and how much voltage you can get from the output side, and also the capability of the module to give the maximum current at the output side, right? So first of all, let's just connect this module with the battery, and then we are going to use a connector to connect the output side with this router, and we are going to see if we can power this router from the battery. Okay, so let's get started with the soldering part. Okay, so now First of all, I have already connected two wires with this battery, the red one for the positive and the white one for the negative. So I'm going to solder these wires with the input of this module, right? So just have a look while I'm soldering. Okay, so as you can see, the moment I connected the positive and negative inputs, the LED is glowing and it is showing that yes, this module is working. And now we can connect the output side. I'm going to use this connector. You can easily buy such connectors from the Radio Shack, from where you are going to buy this module to, right? So let's connect this connector with this module. Okay, one important part is now, since we don't know which one of these wires is the positive and negative for this, so all you need to do is grab a multimeter and shift it to continuity test, and we are going to see this part. Since the outside part is the negative part, so I'm going to see which of the wire is for this negative. You can see it is beeping, means this one is the negative and this one is the positive, right? So okay, the Android phone just showed me he cannot use the torch anymore due to heat up issues. So I'm going to now connect this connector with this module. Okay, as you can see that I have connected the connector as well with this module. One thing I would mention here is since I have connected the battery directly with this module, but you can use any kind of a switch between the positive or the negative wire. Just connect the switch in series so that this module is not going to be turned on all the time, and you can turn it on whenever you are going to need it, right? So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to vary this trimmer so that we can get the desired voltage at the output side. So let me grab the multimeter here. I am going to place the positive to this side, setting the multimeter to DC voltage, and next we are going to see how much voltage we are getting at the output side. You can see right now it is saying okay, it is 5.16 volts. So what we are going to do is I'm going to set the trimmer so that we can get a constant 12 volt output from this module. Let me show you. I have set the voltage to 11.8 volts. The reason it is setting to 11.8 was because it is draining some of the voltage from the battery to power the module itself. So it will it doesn't matter, you can use the 11.8 volts as well for powering up the router. Let me connect the router here and we are going to see if it is working or not. And here we go. You can see I have used this connector right here, and the router is powered on. So now I'm going to set this voltage to 9 volts in case if you have a 9 volt router, right? So all you need to do is use the trimmer to set the voltage. Okay, so now you can see I have set the voltage. Let me connect it properly. I have set the voltage to exactly 9.09 volts. One important thing I want to mention here is you have to set the voltage to exactly the same requirement of your router. Suppose it's a this router requires 12 volts right here, so I can give 11.5 volts to this router, but I cannot give 12.5 volts. If you are going to connect this battery directly with this router, it is going to give it a 12 volt supply, which is definitely going to damage this router. Or also if you have a 9 volt router, so you have to set it exactly to 9 volt as I showed you. You cannot set it to 9.5 volts or 10 volts because it is going to damage the device. So this was the first part of this video, and now we are going to move to the second part, where we are going to use the same battery if we want to charge our mobile phone with this, right? So let's get started with this. Okay, so now you can see that I have placed I'm going to use this module which is again a DC to DC step down, but the specifications say that this module requires 3.8 volts at the input side, and it is going to give 5 volts at the output side. So it means it's a step up converter. For this we cannot connect this module directly to this battery, so we are going to use again this module to convert the 12 volts to 3.8 volts, so that we can connect the output of this module to the input of this module. So let's the soldering begin. Okay, so now you can see that I have connected 2 wires to the output of this module. Now I'm going to set the output voltage of this module to a constant of 3.8 volts, and I'm going to use a multimeter again, setting the voltage testing to DC, and we are going to connect negative to negative, positive to positive. As you can see, I have now set the voltage to 3.78 volts, and finally we are going to connect this module back to our DC to DC step up converter module. Okay, so finally we have connected all the required hardware here, and the next thing we are going to do is simply pushing this button to turn this module on, and as you can see the LEDs are turned on, and you can use this module now to connect a mobile phone, to charge your mobile phone, right? So this was the second part. Since I have disconnected the original module that was connected for the router part, the reason is because I have only one module with me right now, so you have to buy one module for turning on this if you need this module to be connected with this. If you don't need this module, then you only need to get only one module for powering up your router using this battery. Okay, so in this video we are going to see how to charge a 12 volt battery using any computer power supply. So as you can see, this is the power supply that I'm going to use, and the only thing extra we are going to need for this project is a DC to DC step up converter right here, and they come in different varieties. The only difference between those DC to DC step up converters will be the output current, that the maximum output current that this module can provide to you, and also the input voltage and output voltage ranges, right? So let's get started, and first of all let's talk about this power supply. In order to make this power supply work for this project, all you have to do is just you can see this connector right here, and if you just face this connector, and this knob is pointing towards you, so all you have to do is count from this side 1 2 3 4, and you are going to see a green wire. Mostly this is a green wire, but in some other variants the color might change, but for now we are considering that it is a green wire. So again, point this knob towards you and count 1 2 3 4 from the right side, and the fourth wire, just cut that fourth wire and use any black wire from the rest of the wires, any black wire, and all you have to do is short them together like I have done here. You can see I have shorted the green wire with the black wire, because that's how you are going to turn on this power supply. It cannot be turned on directly, right? You have to short these two wires, and after that we are going to see how much voltage we are getting from the yellow wire. The yellow wire is basically for 12 volts, and we are going to use negative to black and red, that is positive to the yellow one, and you can see it is showing 12.8 volts. So the next thing, the only thing we are going to need for this is connect this module with this power supply and then to this battery. So for this you are going to connect the input, that is this one, the positive. I have already soldered the wires, so you can easily solder them, right? You can see I have connected. This is the input side and this is the output side. Finally we are going to just connect, let me focus this little bit, and we are going to connect the input positive to the yellow one. Okay, I have to cut this connector, so let me connect this one first. So viewers, I have connected the module right here with the power supply, and let me show you this. You can see I have cut the wire so that I can connect yellow, that is the positive, to the positive of this module, and black, that is negative, to the negative of this module, and the output will now be connected to this battery. But first we have to tune this module, that is exactly to 14 or 14.5 volts depending on the specification of the battery. So since this battery requires 14.5 volts to be fully charged, I am going to tune this module to 14.5 volts, and let me just tune it. Okay, so now as you can see it has again changed a little bit, so I think I should bring it to exactly 14.5 volts. The problem with these modules are actually when you are going to touch them, the voltage may vary. Even when you are going to touch the trimmer, the voltage is going to vary, so you have to be very careful while tuning them for the right voltage. Okay, so now I think this is fine. It is 14.58 volts, that's fine for me. Finally we are going to connect the positive to the positive of the battery and negative to the negative of the battery. Since I'm using crocodile cables, it is very easy to connect them, and since I'm using just random wires, since I have only these wires with me right now, so just for the sake of tutorial, but you have to use thick wires so that maximum amperes can be transferred to this battery, right? So finally the negative to the negative of the battery, and voila, that's it. Your battery is going to charge now. So you can connect a voltmeter to this battery and observe the voltages, so that when it is fully charged, simply disconnect the charger, or you can use a permanent voltmeter and connect it here, and it is going to continuously tell you the voltage of this battery, right? After that you can design any box for this project, and you can have permanent crocodile cables with thick wires, so that you can use this charger for charging any battery, right? Hello YouTubers, so in this video we are going to learn how to charge a 12-volt battery using a laptop charger. Since we have 19.5 volts at the output port, which is this one, so we are going to step down the 19.5 volts to 14 volts so that we can charge these batteries. Since these batteries require 14 volts or 14.5 volts to charge them completely, we cannot connect any 12-volt charger directly to this battery, right? So we have to go to like 14 volts or 14.5 volts. So I'm going to connect this charger now with this battery using this module. Now this module is going to have input from this charger, which is this one, and the output will go to the battery. So let's see how we can connect this. This part is going to contain the charging of battery using a laptop charger, and you can see I have the port of the charger right here with me. So let me show you the voltage that we are getting right here from this port. Again, connect positive to positive and negative to negative. Here you can see it is saying 19.94 volts. So we have to step down this voltage, and in order to do that we have to first connect the module with this charger. So as you can see, I have connected the input wires, and now I'm going to connect the positive to the positive. Since this is the charger that I am using right now to charge my mobile, so definitely I'm not going to cut the connector for proper connection of the wires. But if you have a spare laptop charger, you can use that charger. Simply cut the connector and connect the wires directly, positive to positive, negative to negative. Or there's another option, you can get connectors for this laptop connector, the female part, so that you can connect this module to the female part, and then that module connector will be connected with this laptop charger. And finally we are setting the voltage, that is 14.5 volts. As a safe side, you can also select simply 14 volts. We are good to go. That is 14.03 volts, and you can make sure that how much voltage your battery actually requires is by simply checking the specifications that is written here. Let me zoom it properly for you. You can see it's written cycle use 14.4 to 15 volts, standby use 13.5 to 13.8 volts, and initial current should be 3.6 amperes max. So this module is going to provide around 2 to 3 amps. So we are good to go with this module, and since it's written standby use 13.5 to 13.8 volts, so we are going to first set it to 13.5 volts for safe side, right? So I am going to tune this module again for 13.5 volts. Okay, so before just connecting the module directly with this, I am going to show you the voltage that we have right now at the terminals of this battery. Alright, so let me connect this multimeter with the battery. So just simply connect positive to positive and negative to negative. Here you can see it's 12.49 volts. So it's already charged, but you have to make sure that this module is working right. So I am connecting the wires temporarily right here, but you have to use some kind of a switch so that you can turn it off. You simply connect the charger for around 1 hour, 2 hours, and then turn it off. You can continuously monitor the charge using either multimeter or buy a separate voltmeter and connect it permanently with this module, right? And finally, we are going to see the voltage, if it is rising up or not. You can see now the voltage is around 13.08 and it is rising. So when it will be 14 volts, or since we have set it to 13.5 volts, so when it will reach the threshold voltage, which is 13.5, then you are going to turn off the charger. As I told you, this battery is already fully charged. That's why it is rising very quickly. The voltage is rising very quickly. But a drained voltage, a drained battery or a used battery is going to take some time in order to charge it completely. Now it's 13.31 volts. So that was the procedure for how to charge your 12 volt battery using a laptop charger.